Nice. Well, this weather's so good, I gotta try to change these tires, so. Oh yeah. See ya. Honestly, changing tires really isn't that hard, all depending if you got the right tools. If you're not using the right jack, or if you're manually trying to get through all those lug bolts, it's not going to work. Tools make the difference. Without the right jack, that takes forever, and if you actually don't have power tools to help you with each of the lugs, that also could take forever. When you are starting out, I do expect you'll do a few rounds of this manually. I've been collecting all of the doodads and whizzle watts for pretty much more than a decade now. Top tip, this is easiest with your winter rubber on their own wheels. I prefer steelies. I think on the EV I got talked into alloys, and you're going to need your tire chuck. Don't forget that. We already spoke about the wheels. You're of course going to need the jack stands, breaker bar, and the right sockets for your wheels. And when it comes to running that impact, you're going to want torque sticks. I also have pads for the jack, and on the jack stand you'll see that there's a pad for that as well that were bought after, separate from the jack stands themselves. Some things to keep in mind when you're jacking up the car. You're going to want to locate and use the proper lift points. In my case, you can see the rubber going over the little flange there, and you're going to chuck the opposite corner wheel. That's important. Alright, now I've got the tires off. I apologize if you can actually hear the heat pump, and if you can, this is a pretty good mic. Now with the tires coming off, you're going to want to go and label where they go next year. These were the last summer tires, and we'll take a closer look at these next. But when you rotate your tires, you actually don't put them onto the same corner of the car every time. If you have winter tires like these, which are rotational dependent, they only rotate in one direction, well, these will only swap back and forth every season. If you actually have a car with unidirectional or non-unidirectional, so those are unidirectional tires, and these are bidirectional. It doesn't matter which side of the car they go on. Therefore, when these rotate, these tires on the back will go to the front, but then these front tires are going to go to the rear corner. That front corner to this rear corner here. So summer tires, doesn't matter which direction. This was the passenger front. This is actually going to go across and become my driver's side rear tire. Over here, this was in the passenger side rear corner, right? This is going to go straight forward, so this will remain on the passenger side, but it will go to the front next season. Back here, I've got the tire that was on the driver's side rear. As we said, the ones in the rear go straight forward, so this will now be driver's side front next season. And the last tire to mark was over here in the front corner, driver's side front. This will end up being passenger side rear. An honest look at the tires shows you that within my first year and my second year, I drove differently. I drove a lot harder on the first year, having fun with the EV and instant torque. As a result, these tires that were treated kinder have substantial tread remaining, whereas the tires that were on the rear for the first year leave a bit to be desired for grip. Now the tires are on. Open your front door, look at that sticker, and it's time to check your pressures. Having the right tire pressure goes a long way, okay? Stick the little thing in, look at the number that comes out, and adjust it to match the number in the door. My last tip involves some anti-seize on your threads. It really helps them not bind. And those rubber pads really come into play for the jack stands and the jacks when using the lift points in between the arrows on the front and rear of both sides of the cars. So Yeah, that's all there is to changing tires.